I need you not to give me any attitude there, friend. Hi everybody, my name's Elizabeth and you're watching Elizabeth's Leaves, where I just want to talk about houseplants. Let's get into my favorites of all time. We're going to do my top 10 favorite houseplants of all time. So I have about roughly 100 houseplants. So it was really difficult to narrow it down, but I did narrow it down. I tried not to stick with just one genus. I didn't want to be repetitive. This could have been a video all about anthuriums, if we're being honest, but I wanted to step out of my comfort zone, not pick all of my anthuriums. I did pick two, but I think I only repeated a genus with Anthurium and then Philodendron, and then I think everything else is different. I tried not to pick the same type of plants because I just wanted to be more versatile with my favorites video. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, before we get started, I want to say these are not in any particular order. My number one will be my actual number one, but everything else before that is not in any order. There is just one plant that I adore, I'm in love with. It is my absolute favorite, and it is a plant that if I lost, I would be devastated. I'd be pretty devastated to lose any of these, but my top favorite, I would bawl my eyes out probably. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into it. What do I want to start with? Oh, that's nerve-wracking. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and start with my Synapsis Jade, my Jade Synapsis. I haven't had this very long. I've only had this a couple of months, and she is exploding. This is a new leaf. This is a new leaf. It's already giving me another new leaf. And then, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but inside of that leaf is another new leaf. And then we have a new leaf here that's also already starting on another new leaf. And we have one here. And then we have another one. This is new. And it's already starting to give another leaf too. This is amazing. I have a couple Synapsis, and I really adore this genus. Not sure why that's so hard to say. I guess because I don't say it out loud a lot. I don't really have a lot of planty people to talk to, except for my best friend. So I don't know. It's dark green foliage. It's big leaves. My other Synapsis have a big problem of skipping nodes, and this one is not skipping any nodes. I'm pretty sure that's a light issue, so this plant's getting plenty of light, whereas my other Synapsis, maybe they're not getting enough light, so they normally skip like 1 or 2 nodes in between each leaf, and this one's not doing that. So I'm really excited. I found it for a really good price on Etsy, and it has not disappointed me at all. I didn't think this would be my favorite Synapsis, but it is, and I really want to add more Synapsis to my collection. I think I only have 3 right now, and I'm really looking to add more Synapsis, especially like the Silver Hero. That one intrigues me a lot, but she has done right by me, and I am in love with her. Very proud plant parent when it comes to this one. Okay, another favorite is my Philodendron Florida Ghost. She has so much new growth since you last saw her. This is a new leaf, it's pushing, new leaf, and it's pushing out 2 more new leaves. And it actually has a growth point down here. It's not activated yet. I mean, it's large and in charge, but it's not pushing out anything yet. I wish more people would talk about this plant. I feel like it's underrated. I know a lot of people have a Philodendron Florida Ghost, but I just don't see them talk about it. And when they do talk about it, normally it's a little bit negative, and they like the Florida Beauty more. And don't get me wrong, I would love to have a Florida Beauty, but they're way too expensive. But the Philodendron Florida Ghost is special. I am having an issue so there's 2 cuttings in here. There's this side and there's this side. I'm having an issue with this side not turning green. So this leaf I've had to cut off a bunch of browning. This leaf is starting to brown in some places. This one though is starting to turn green. So I'm hoping maybe we're turning around. And we're going to start having our leaves turn green because I really don't want to lose all the leaves on this plant. I chopped it up because it was leggy, and now it seems like it's going to be leggy again, just from losing leaves. The internodal spacing between each leaf is super tiny, but because they're not turning green, I mean, it's definitely going to drop. This one, possibly the second one, and I'm hoping we're turning around here. Now this one is doing great. This cutting, this is turning green, this one's turning green, so I have no doubt that the new one will also have no problem turning green. Not really sure what that's about. If you guys have any suggestions or experience with the ghost not turning green and so the white starts to brown, please let me know what you did to help your baby, because she's beautiful and I really love her. She's one of the few plants that I have on a moss pole, and I'm really glad I put her on a moss pole. This back has some roots back there already, and it hasn't been on this pole but maybe a month, maybe longer than a month, maybe 2 months, I'm not sure. But I'm proud of her. She's gorgeous. I just really want these leaves to start doing right by me, so hopefully she is turning things around. We'll just go ahead and get the other philodendron out of the way since I just did the Philodendron Florida Ghost. Let's talk about my Philodendron Mykins. Sure you see it in the background here. She is immaculate. I cannot believe what that front porch has done for her. So this was originally 2 separate plants potted into one pot. One of the plants got root rot and the other one didn't. So one side was like really sad, droopy, and then one side was really happy and beautiful and growing. So at the beginning of the summer, I had to take her out, get all of that nasty rot off, get all of the old dirt off, and repot her. And she, maybe I'll insert a picture for you. She looked horrible. I was heartbroken. I found this last summer at like a local plant shop, and I hadn't seen these anywhere, not even like big box stores. When I found her, I freaked out. I lost my mind. I was so excited. And so when she started to go downhill, I was heartbroken, absolutely devastated. And so just to see what she has done over the spring and summer makes my heart so happy. Looking at her brings me a lot of joy. These leaves are gorgeous. I'm really shocked by how big some of the growth is just because she's not climbing. I mean, look at that leaf. I feel like for it to be trailing, that's a really large leaf. I cut this thing constantly. I cut it all the time just because she gets so long, and the internodal spacing in these is really long, and I think that's just a part of the plant. I don't really think it's a light issue because obviously she's getting plenty of light. So she gets haircuts all the time, and it doesn't stop her. It doesn't slow her down. And I'm just so excited about this. She has crazy aerial roots because obviously where I live is very humid. But if you don't have a Philodendron Mykins, I highly recommend it. It's so easy. Other than the fact that I just am a chronic overwaterer, they're super easy. And I adore her. And she's so beautiful. Yeah, I only have one Monstera on this list. I did not bring it inside because it's absolutely huge and it's very, very heavy. My Monstera Sonia is one of my favorites. She is a plant that came back from the brink of death. I think I might have shown a picture of her in my very first video. No, my second video, the outdoor houseplant tour. I might have shown you guys a picture of what she looked like during the winter. She looked horrible. So when I brought her in last summer, she was absolutely gorgeous. She was growing up a moss pole. She was giving me these giant, beautiful, long leaves. She was full, luscious, super happy. When I brought her inside, I think the change of temperature and then the lack of light really took a toll on her. She did not like that. She lost tons and tons of leaves. I had to propagate pretty much the whole plant. I chopped it back down to the bottom, and I was really sad. I didn't know if she was going to make it. I didn't know what she was going to do this spring and summer, and she bounced back, and she's even more beautiful than she was last summer, which gives me a lot of confidence when I bring her in probably in like November. I bring my plants in right before it like drops to freezing temperatures, which takes a while in Georgia. So it makes me feel better knowing that even if she comes in and she really struggles, when I put her back out there in the spring, she is going to thrive. She is going to bounce back, no problem, start giving me those big, beautiful leaves again. And I'm thrilled with her. She's definitely my favorite Monstera. I really want some different Ansonias, but I know people kind of have some issues with those, so I'm probably going to hold off until those prices drop a lot, and then I won't feel so bad about killing the plant. But yes, Monstera Sonia is one of my favorite houseplants. All right, my next plant is an Alocasia. It seems to be about the only Alocasia that I can keep happy right now. All of my Alocasia are on the back porch, and I really thought that was going to be a good spot for them, but they're growing. But they're just giving me the smallest growth. It's super tiny. I guess they're not getting enough light. My ones on the front porch are doing really well. Ones on the back porch aren't doing as well. It's okay. I'm going to figure it out next year. Next year is going to be my year for Alocasia. But this doesn't have thrips, right? Is that a thrip? Oh, I'll lose my mind. It's not. Thank goodness gracious, because this plant looks perfect. So glad to know it's not a thrip. All right. This is my Alocasia mitiglitziana, and if I said that incorrectly, I'm really sorry. I think I talked about her not that long ago, but these are the leaves that you saw in that video where I talked about her. It might have been was it my August favorites? Yeah, she was featured in my August favorites. But these are the leaves that she was growing, and they're so beautiful. She's popping out some new ones. The corm at the bottom popped out her leaves, and finally it's sizing up. So when it was inside, it was growing a lot, but the leaves stayed pretty small. And then I put her outside and she went dormant. She went dormant for months. And so this is the first growth she's given me in 2 or 3 months. Probably maybe even 3 or 4 months. It's been a really long time. And this is what it gave me. I'm so blown away. Oh, I love her. Her leaves are a little dirty. They're not damaged. They're just a little dirty because she's outside. But man, I can't wait to see these new leaves that she's already pushing out. I hope they're even bigger. But there's something about this plant. The texture, the veining, the dark foliage. This plant does something for me, and I am really excited that she is finally doing something. Now, the bad news is she's about to have to come inside for the winter, and she's probably going to lose these leaves and go dormant again. So then I'll be starting all over in the spring and summer. Maybe I'll be able to find a highlight spot for her, because I know they need really high light. But then obviously also the humidity is going to drop once it gets colder. So I think the humidity drop, the temperature drop, or the temperature, yeah, I mean, coming inside, still a temperature drop. I think those things are really going to hurt her. Oh, but maybe I could find a solution. I don't know. I don't want her to stop growing. I want her to keep getting bigger and fuller. And I see these plant YouTubers with these really giant Alocasia mitiglitzianas. And one day I want to be that YouTuber who has the giant one that like takes up my whole head, my whole body. That's my goal, is to have one as big as my body. Oh, I love her very much. Okay, this is probably the newest plant that I have on this list. So this is the plant that my husband got me for my birthday. It is my Aglaonema pictum tricolor. It is my only Aglaonema. I think it's actually is it trying to push out? I don't know what it's trying to push out. I don't know anything about Aglaonema. Do they flower? It looks more like a flower than a leaf, and I do not want this to flower. This is the newest leaf. It's actually, no, it's giving me a couple leaves in my care. This is the newest leaf. I do wish it were bigger, but there's some spider webs on here. Oh well, hopefully I'm not disturbing the spiders too much. So she is growing. I did lose a leaf down here at the base, but it's growing a new leaf. And then this one is also growing a new leaf. There are 3 plants in here. So I think she's doing well. I have lost some leaves, but nothing too crazy. I was really afraid that I was going to lose a bunch of leaves, but I've only lost a couple, and I don't think that's so bad since she was acclimating to her environment, getting used to being on my back porch. Yeah, the fact that these are camouflage is incredible. Also, the fact that my husband thought this plant was so cool makes it really special to me. I really don't have a lot to say about Aglaonema. This is my first Aglaonema, my only Aglaonema. I do want to add more to my collection because they are gorgeous plants. I'm just nervous. So I'm feeling better since this one is doing well. That kind of inspires me to collect some more. But yeah, I don't have much to say. She's in a really chunky mix. I water her right before the soil gets dry. And she seems to be liking that. She doesn't get but a little bit of direct light every day, and then the rest is filtered. And I think she's happy, and I just love her. I don't think there's another plant that has leaves this incredible with the silver, the dark green, and then the medium toned green. I don't think there's another plant that looks like that. And if there is, please let me know, because I want it. I want that plant. So Aglaonema pictum tricolor has definitely stolen my heart. Okay, there's only one Hoya on this list, even though I adore Hoya. I definitely could have added more Hoya, but this is one that didn't grow for me for a very long time. It was in my kitchen, and it just was not getting enough light, so it stayed cuttings forever. And then I put it under a really nice grow light, and this is what it's done for me. I actually cut it. 2 of the strands are probably down here, so I chopped them to be the same length as the other strands, and they're propagating, and they're already rooting, so I can make this more full. And it's just such a silly plant. Isn't it silly? It makes me giggle. And also the fact that it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy. It has a really strange growth pattern. It grows easily. I will say it needs more water than my other Hoya. It's a thirsty girl. I don't mind that. I don't mind watering this beauty. I'll water her whenever she needs it, as long as she keeps growing like this. There's tons of new growth in here. A lot. Wow. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 new shoots, and then I have 4 shoots to add to this. And then I'm not sure if you guys watched my outdoor organizing video, cleaning my porch thing that I did, but I showed a really cool lantern that I got at the thrift store, and I think this is the plant that I want to put into that lantern, and I think that's going to be a really good match. So once those cuttings get rooted, I think I'm going to repot her, and then she's going in the lantern. But yeah, this plant's on here solely because it makes me smile so much. I mean, you can't tell me that's not ridiculous. And I love her. All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. This is number 8, 9, 10. Am I counting right? I think so. This is number 8. This is my lemon lime Miranta. And I can't say enough incredible things about this plant. She never stops growing. I give her tap water. I hear a lot of people talk about giving them distilled water or rainwater, or leaving your water out for a certain amount of time if you get it from the tap. I just water her with regular tap water. And yeah, I do get some browning, but not a lot. It's not a lot of browning. And she's gorgeous. She never stops growing. She's always trying to flower. I actually just propagated her, and she's still huge. I mean, this plant is huge. And actually, I just propagated her maybe 2 weeks ago, and she is trying to push out, oh gosh, can you see it? New growth already. Not that I can say I'm shocked, because she just impresses me on the daily. I'm always blown away by this plant. I'm always thinking about this plant, loving this plant. She's in my bedroom, and I'll just lay in my bed and stare at this plant because she blows my mind. I mean, I don't have a lot of new growth happening right now, but generally I have 6 or 7 new leaves coming out at a time, tons of flowers coming out at a time, and I do nothing special. She is still in the soil that she came in, and I just water her right before her soil gets dry with regular tap water. I do fertilize her. I fertilize all my plants, like, constantly. And she has never failed me. She's never failed me. I adore her. I recommend this plant so much. I kind of recommend all Miranta, even though I've heard other people say that they can be difficult. If you live in a high humidity state, or wherever you are in whatever country, if you have high humidity, I think you can do a good job with this plant. She's super low maintenance. I have 0 problems, and I adore my lemon lime Miranta. Highly, highly recommend that you add this to your collection. We are down to our last 2 plants, and they are Anthurium. So they're Anthurium that you've probably seen a lot by now. Both of them you've probably seen at least twice. I can't help it. I really love them, and they have stolen my heart, and they mean a lot to me. And I don't know Okay, I can't explain it. I don't know why I'm explaining myself to you, but I feel bad that you keep seeing the same plants over and over, but it's hard not to talk about these plants. So I'm going to talk about them because it brings me a lot of joy. So my 9th favorite houseplant. I can't help it. I know you just saw her. I know you just saw her not that long ago. But it is my, Anthurium Crystallineum. It has to be. She has to be here. She had to make an appearance. There was no way you guys thought you were going to watch this video and that she wasn't going to show up. Look at her. Tell me she isn't gorgeous. I'm not saying she's perfect, but I am saying that she's pretty beautiful. I mean, I don't know. The silver veining, wow. I wish you guys could see. I know my camera probably can't pick it up, but how much she glitters. She glitters. And something about it. And then something about when the leaves are coming out and they start off so small and then they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the fact that she's under a not so great grow light, and yet she's still pushing out leaves this big. I know their leaves can get bigger than this, but you're under a bad grow light and you're still doing this. What would you do if I had a good grow light? I might have to find her one just for her. Oh, and then the fact that this leaf is facing away from the light but has absolutely zero browning going on. And then I can see in the light, I could go on about this plant forever, but the little red edges, pink, red, I don't know. You pick the color you want it to be. Something about that. It's amazing. And then I know a lot of people say that beginners shouldn't get Anthurium, and I say boo-boo. You can do Anthurium. Give them a super chunky mix. I grow them in house humidity. I don't have a greenhouse in my home. I don't have a cool IKEA Mills bow, wide or tall. I don't have any of that. She just grows in regular household humidity, and yeah, looks like that. So I think anybody can grow Anthurium. Chunky mix, water right before the soil gets dry. They do not like dry roots. Definitely don't overwater though. I check her by picking up the pot. She just got watered yesterday and that pot's super heavy. I don't know. I don't struggle with her. I think you can, if you've been afraid to get Anthurium, I say go for it, because I was terrified and I've had nothing but good experiences. I have rotted one, but it's okay now. And then I did lose a leaf on my Warcarianum, but then the next leaf it gave me was beautiful. So I think it just needed to acclimate. No, that wasn't it. I underwatered it. So I guess I overwater, underwater. Anyway, get Anthurium. Don't be afraid of them. Just don't be afraid of them. And then my very last one should not shock anybody. Like if you have watched all of my videos, or if you've been around, this plant really shouldn't shock anybody. It is of course an Anthurium, and it is my Anthurium Politiform. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm pretty sure I told all of you in my kitchen tour that this is the one plant my husband knows to save, and it is still the one plant my husband knows to save. This is the one. If I could only pick one plant to have all around my house, it is the Anthurium Politiform. Look at this. This is its newest leaf. Sadly, it's not as large as the last leaf, which was this one. But that's okay. I'm not too mad. I think I haven't been fertilizing her enough, and that's okay. She's already starting to give me another leaf right there. She just put this one out, just hardened off, and she's already working on another one. But this plant has given me no grief whatsoever. It has not lost any leaves since I got it. It has absolutely zero yellowing. I've never rotted it. And she never stops growing. She's under a horrible grow light. I mean, it's horrible. None of my other plants grow under it, except my Warcarianum does pretty good under it. But that light is horrible, and she loves it. And I know that the leaves can get way bigger than this, but I'm still very proud of this. I think this is really gorgeous. I don't know. That leaf right there, oh, I want more leaves like that. I mean, I love the newest leaf, don't get me wrong, but this one, she's beautiful. I just love strappy plants, strappy Anthurium. I'm not sure that you can see, but down the middle, she has some silver going on. She sparkles as well. And she's the one. If I could have one house plant, she's it. So I highly recommend it. I know they're expensive. I mean, they're not, I wouldn't say they're considered expensive in the general, I don't know what I'm trying to say. There are plants that are way more expensive than this, but I know for like just the general hobbyist, this is a lot to spend on a plant. Do it. Do it. Please get this plant. If you get no other plants that I showed today, get the Anthurium Politiform. She's my baby. And I love her. And I hope you get one. Or if you have one, do you love yours as much as I love mine? I know there are some different types. I couldn't tell you a lot about the different types, but I know there's one that gets thicker and there's one that stays kind of thin. So I'm not sure which one I have. This one's pretty thick, so I think maybe she can get thick. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I say that in every video, don't I? Get her. Love her. Bask in her beauty. She's my baby. So that is my top 10 houseplants. If I could only pick 10 plants in my collection, those would be the 10 that I would absolutely have to keep. Let me know if any of the ones that I showed today are your favorite plants. Let me know if these are on your wish list. I just want to talk to you guys, see what you think. I really appreciate you being here today and supporting my channel. Please like and subscribe. I really hope you enjoy my content, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.